right, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let me see. I started doing comedy about 4 years ago when I was 53 years old. And I sort of did it on a dare. I never had any intention of doing it. But I was in a meeting at work, and Human Resources was having a talent show, and I was one of the writers on staff to promote it, and I started making wisecracks, like, who wants to commit career Harry Carey? And my boss was in the meeting, and then one of the person in HR said, that's it, we're signing you to do stand-up comedy. And my boss says, oh, well, you need to do a stretch project for your performance review. So I'm like, okay, fine. When I go down in flames, you're the one who's going to have to write the performance improvement plan. So yeah, I did it as a one and done thing, but as soon as I got up on that stage and I heard people laughing, I was hooked.
That's okay.
Yeah, now I understand what drug addicts go through.
So tell us, what made you get into comedy? What made you just do it?
Well, just getting on that stage and hearing people laugh, it just grabbed me. Before I got off that stage, I was wondering where the next place I could get it from.
I hear that.
Yeah.
So how long you been doing comedy?
About 4 years.
About 4 years?
Yeah.
So in your 4 years of comedy, what is one of your most embarrassing moments?
Oh gosh, I have so many of them. Let me think about this. Oh man, there's so many. I'm trying to think of a specific one that comes to mind. I know one time I was, the first time I ever hosted a show, it was for my mentor, the Fat Doctor. And we were at this place in Parkville called McAvoy's, and I just did a really crappy job, and people were like drowning me out, you know, so that was kind of embarrassing.
Okay, all right, I hear that. So what do you feel most proud of in your 4 years of comedy?
Oh man, that's another tough one. I don't know, you know, it's like every show is like a new start, you know. I had a good show tonight. I don't know, I just feel a lot of pride when people like you say such nice things about me, you know, and I feel a lot of love in the community. So I would say that that's kind of like a big highlight.
Okay, I hear that. So can you tell us one of your most defining moments in comedy?
My most defining moments, wow. I don't know, I think it was probably taking the stage here at What's So Funny and just like, you know, feeling all the warmth and support of everybody and everything, you know?
It's defining, it's just making you want to continue on. Just
yeah,
keep on doing. Exactly,
yeah.
I hear that. So if you wasn't doing comedy, what else would you be doing?
Gee, I don't know, just working my day job, you know? But comedy's really sort of put a new focus on my life. You know, I really, I'm very focused on my goals and things and being creative. So.
And what are those goals?
Just to keep getting better, and I'm probably going to be retiring within the next 8 years, and I want to be able to do this in my retirement.
I hear that. Okay, I hear that. So, how do you spend your free time?
I don't have any. I'm just doing this shit all the time. But it's a joy, so, you know, so I'm enjoying myself.
Okay.
And, well, I do go to the gym. I do lift weights and stuff like that.
Right.
So, you know, hashtag Fit Bitch Friday, you'll see me.
So, name 5 comedians that inspire you and why.
Okay, I don't know if I can get up to 5, but Lenny Bruce. I grew up listening to Lenny Bruce. My parents were huge fans, you know, and he broke all the rules. He really blazed a trail. And then, of course, Richard Pryor. He's like one of my favorite comedians. You know, because he brought his pain on stage and made it just funny as hell. And I also have a huge amount of admiration for my mentor, the Fat Doctor. Let's see, there's some female comedians I have a lot of admiration for, like, you know, Sarah Silverman. She's pretty fearless. People are going to laugh at me, but, you know, hey, I like Ellen DeGeneres.
Right.
You know, some people say I dress like her. It's not on purpose, you know. And I'm sure there are other people that I'm not even remembering that, you know, 5 minutes from now, I'm going to be like, damn, I meant to mention that person, you know? Right. Actually, locally, there's someone, not locally, but in the region, someone named Missy Grinkowitz. And one day, sort of early on in my comedy career, I went to see her, and I was like in a really dark place. And she was so funny, it was like it lifted a cloud. and I suddenly felt better. And I thought, if I can do that for people with my comedy, that would make me really happy.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. So being in the game for 4 years, what are some pointers you would like to give to a new up-and-coming comedian?
First thing is to be patient. This shit takes time, takes a lot of practice. I'll say what everybody says, which is get on stage as much as you can. It's hard when you have a family or a day job or both, but just try and find the time, work up to it if you need to. When you go to these shows and stuff, also pay attention to the other comedians, and because you can learn a lot from the veterans, and you can learn a lot by just watching the crowds and seeing how they react and everything. So I would just say and always be humble, and always be working, always be thinking comedy.
Cool. So reflecting back on your career, did you feel anything you had done differently?
I just wish I would, like, when I started out at the beginning knowing everything I know now, but that's kind of impossible.
Right.
But no, I'm glad that I'm working with the Fat Doctor. I started working with him maybe when I've been doing comedy for close to a year, and I wish maybe I would have started working with him sooner. But other than that, I don't really have any regrets. I'm sort of learning as I go along.
Okay, cool. And as a female in the game, do you feel as though you get the same opportunities as the males?
I find more at my age. I find almost more barriers having to do with age than having to do with my gender. I think there are a lot of people, especially in DC, they think of it as a young person's game, and they think that I don't have anything of relevance to say to people of all ages, but that's just not true. I mean, some of my best shows are like, college crowds. And so I would say age has almost proved to be more of a barrier than gender, but, just the same, a lot of times there is sort of like, an ingrained feeling that, women just aren't as funny. You see shows and showcases where it's like all men, or maybe all men and one woman. And I think you should have the funniest people on the show, but I think there are a lot of funny women out there.
Okay, cool. So please tell the people how to get in contact with you.
Okay, well, I have a website, sandybernsteincomedy.com, and I update that every week. I'm on Facebook a lot. I'm on Facebook under Sandy Bernstein Comedy. I got a personal page and a fan page, so follow me, friend me on those. I'm on Instagram also at Sandy Bernstein Comedy, and so you can find me in all those places.
All right. Well, I appreciate the interview.
Oh, well,
that
thank
was a
you.
great interview.
Oh, well, thank you.
Girl, Sandy Bernstein,
right.
One of the hardest working females in the game. Look out for her. She making big things happen. Sandy Bernstein, Big Shorty. What about us? Looking to Baltimore comedians. And we out.
My name is Sandy Bernstein. I'm 59 years old and I suffer from PTCD, post-traumatic cookie disorder. Every year my mom baked cookies as Christmas gifts, but the only ones we got were broken, dropped, or deformed. So as an adult, I am obsessed with cookies. To me, it's better than sex. I get complete satisfaction. There are no performance issues. I know how long they're going to last before I even get started. I can toss them if they're too old. I don't have to talk or listen. I don't have to shower before or after. All I have to clean up are the crumbs. I might gain a few pounds, but at least it's not from getting pregnant. I could develop diabetes, but beats a yeast infection. But I think the number one thing I love about cookies is that I can try one of each kind and not be called a slut. But, I really do need to start finding joy in things other than sweets, especially now. I mean, ever since quarantine, I feel like I've been living in a flop house. I really need to start wearing bras again. I mean, I used to love a good bra that would make my boobs look even. That would bring me joy. Or the way my husband stimulates me every morning. His coffee is amazing. Or getting hot and wet. My shower has great water pressure. But I keep coming back to the cookies. My husband loves them too, because if my mouth is full, that means I'm not talking. I'll tell you though, in the Bernstein household, Thanksgiving was kind of a scary time because I was doing all the cooking. Okay, I mean, it has been years since I cooked a turkey. And let me tell you, the whole turkey and the brine almost ended up on the floor. Because this idiot at Safeway told me that a cooking bag was the same thing as a brining bag. That is not true. I was just supposed to put the turkey in a garbage bag. I mean, I actually had the bag in my hands, but I noticed that it was scented. So, yeah. So I made do with the cooking bag. I lost half the brine, but you know, the turkey turned out great. I was amazed. And my husband is a very tough critic. He actually was like tasting each thing, going, "Oh, this is good." I was like, try not to sound so surprised. Really? So, like right before dinner, I'm in the dining room clearing off the table because now that I work at home, my office is the dining room table. So he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm getting ready to set the table." He's like, "There's no TV in the dining room." Yeah, your point? He said, "Well, how are we supposed to watch TV?" I said, "We're not. This is Thanksgiving dinner." I said, "We're going to eat here in the dining room, and we're going to discuss our feelings and the future." You should have seen the look on his face. I've never seen that man so scared before in my life. I mean, because, you know, normally we just sit in front of the TV, but I was like, I did not spend 2 days in the kitchen to sit in front of the TV and eat. So when it came down to eating the meal, he really had nothing to worry about, okay? Because I was too busy stuffing my face to say 2 words to that man. I mean, really. Oh, gosh. I'll tell you, he is my second husband. I definitely prayed it up. By a round of applause, who in here is married? Anybody? Okay. All right. Anybody here still in their first marriage? Round of applause. Okay. Anybody on their second marriage? Okay, well, I guess it's just me then. Okay, so, yeah, so I definitely traded up when I remarried, you know, because, okay, this one's an older model, right? But he's low mileage, low maintenance, and he burns a lot less gas. Yeah, notice how I made a clever fart joke. Well, speaking of old farts, he is 10 years older than I am. Yeah, but I don't consider myself a trophy wife. I'm really more of a geezer pleaser. Yeah. So, yeah, he's not a big fan of my comedy though. Like when we're out walking and I want to try out a new bit on him, he'll speed up until he is so far ahead of me that I have no prayer of ever catching up with him. So consequently, I never get to run jokes past him. Yeah, so, you know, I have to tell a few grunters because that sets the bar low. It makes my comedians look so great.
Anybody ever been in a relationship where your significant other takes like inappropriate pictures and then posts that on social media? Anybody? Am I the only freak in here? I thought so. Now, my husband's been doing a lot of that lately, you know, and I asked him to stop, but in his defense, I did encourage it at first, okay? I mean, I thought it was fun. Until people began inboxing me. They're like, "Sandy, how do you keep the weight off? It's amazing you don't weigh 500 pounds. Now, I see some confusion here. Let me explain. When I say that he is posting inappropriate pictures of me, I'm not talking about like naked photos or videos of us being intimate. I'm talking about pictures of me eating dessert. I mean, I'd almost rather he post the naked pictures than the naughty videos. I even told him as much. And he was like, "Sweetheart, why would I post videos of us having sex? That would be stupid. You look so much happier when you're eating." You know, I would just give up dessert entirely, but I'm weak. He keeps pulling me back in. Like today, right before I came up here, he texted me and he said, "I cut you a piece of cheesecake and I'm setting up the tripod." But, yeah, I need to resist, because actually I did used to be like 50 pounds heavier. I'm a lifetime Weight Watcher member, so give it up for me. It works, I'll tell you. But, yeah, but sort of in a related note, I was going to talk about the Girl Scouts. Now, before I go any further, do we have any Girl Scouts here? Troop leaders, den mothers, whatever you call. Okay.
Ex-Girl Scout.
Ex-Girl Scout, okay. Well, keep in mind, these are just jokes here, okay? 'Cause let me tell you, those Girl Scouts and their cookies, they are out of control. They are savage. You want to know where they were set up last Saturday? I'll tell you where. In front of the Weight Watchers. We talk about dirty pool. So I'm actually walking into my meeting when one of the little girls stops me and asks me if I want to buy some low-fat cookies. I'm like, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I don't bring cookies of any kind into my house. And she's like, well, that's okay. You can buy some boxes and we'll donate them to Children's Hospital. And I thought, way to take on pediatric type 2 diabetes, Girl Scouts. I didn't say that. I'm not a mean person. Instead, I said, you ought to set up at the other end of the shopping center in front of the medical marijuana dispensary. Yeah. Did you hear about that Girl Scout in San Diego? She sold 300 boxes of cookies in 6 hours, right? And one of the mothers said, that's not the message we want to send to our girls. Okay, wait a minute, let's review here. It's wrong to sell cookies to stoners with the munchies, right? Yet it's perfectly acceptable to try pushing them on people struggling to lose weight and sick kids. That makes no sense. But I'll tell you what, I went back there the next day and they were no longer in front of the Weight Watchers. That's because they had moved into the lobby of the LA Fitness. Savage. But something ironically, I have to take all those boxes of Girl Scout cookies that I did end up buying and mark them up 50% so I can sell them at a profit in front of the weed dispensary on Saturday. Hey, it's a win-win-win. The Girl Scouts get to sell their cookies, I get to make a small profit, and the stoners get their munchies, right? Now, don't judge me. The Girl Scouts are giving me a merit badge for that.
And I got this great idea involving Sandy Bernstein, the goddess of one-liners, goddess of humor Carol Johnson, and the god of gangsters and gangster of comedy Tony Viagra, and the first ever comic three-way. I chose that instead of gangbang because I thought three-way was more of a classy innuendo. Let's listen to them share some advice, some past experiences, some do's and don'ts. Here they are in a show I call
Boom Boom Confessions.
So it shouldn't be okay, Boomer. It should be, yeah, King of Boomer.
This is my second marriage. Surprise, I am divorced.
I was married. I don't really like to say that I'm divorced. It just sounds too negative. I really prefer to think of myself as free range.
I'm divorced. I've been divorced for a while. I was married to Hitler's daughter. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun.
Women my age are at a definite disadvantage when it comes to dating.
It's not easy. Women my age, we're invisible. Like the boy who could see dead people, the only living things that can see me are animals and men over 80. But, I'm not letting that stop me. I'm on some of the dating sites. I joined Tinder.
So I like to meet a lady, have a relationship with a lady. So I've been trying Match.com.
And Match is such a tease.
And eHarmony.
And eHarmony, forget that. E's got to stand for extortion. It's so expensive.
And they're expensive, so I've been pissing away money. For what? For what? To meet fucking assholes. I'm spending all this money to meet fucking assholes. It's crazy.
But so far, the only swipes I'm getting are from my cat.
Young people have a lot of dating apps. We have our time. But after looking at some of the profile pictures, I'm convinced it should be called Our Time Is Up.
And there's my personal favorite, Our Time. With the hot date tip, the early bird special down at the senior center.
The only thing hard on these guys is their hearing.
And before we were all shut down, I did tell a few of the men that I still had my teenage son living at home with me. Boy, I didn't know men their age could run that fast.
I've been divorced for about 10 years, and I've had a couple of girlfriends since, and that didn't go well either. One was very attractive, very crazy, very crazy.
I once went out with a man who said he enjoyed long walks in the park, so I met him there. He showed up in a wheelchair expecting me to push him.
Another one after that she was kind of attractive too, and really fucking crazy. In fact, she's had more divorces than McDonald's has franchises.
I mean, yeah, younger women, they get unsolicited pictures of men's body parts. We get unsolicited pictures of their ancestors they want to fix us up with.
And we didn't have Instagram. If you wanted to share a photo, you had to have film and a camera, take the film to get it developed, wait a week, pick the film back up, go home, address an envelope, have a stamp and an envelope, which means you had to know where the person was, take it to the post office. You know, and by the time it arrived, you probably changed your mind about sending that naked photo. And the worst part is you could never have photos developed again because the man that developed your film had already seen you naked.
And you have to read between the lines on these dating apps. I mean, if they say they're financially secure, it means they're collecting Social Security. If they tell you they're active, could just mean they're ambulatory. If they say they're into heavy metal, well, they've had a hip replacement, or their wheelchair weighs a lot.
What's the point of spending money on these online dating services to meet assholes? I can go in a bar. I can meet assholes for free. Stop wasting my money.
And say if you do hook up, you better hope it's on 500 thread count Egyptian sheets, because if you try to do a doggy style, his nuts and your nipples are going to get rug burn.
And now that I've been on all these dating sites, my computer keeps mysteriously playing "You Don't Need to Be Lonely" with FarmersOnly.com. Yeehaw.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I would totally watch so much more of that.
Do you guys have Trader Joe's out here? Does anybody go to Trader Joe's? Okay. Well, yeah, they got them around my way, and you know, it's always crowded there, and the parking lots are a nightmare, but I really like their roasted almonds. I usually go in there every couple of weeks. I get a bag of the dry roasted almonds, right? So I like to have a little bit of fun when I go in there, you know, so I'll flag down one of the dudes in the Hawaiian shirts, one of the crew members, and I'll be, "Excuse me, sir, could you tell me where I might find your nuts?" And, yeah, they're good sports. I usually chuckle at that, right? You know, but I'm telling you, I think they're on to me. Because the last time I was in there, I was like, "Oh, excuse me, sir, could you tell me where your nuts are at?" And the guy just kind of smiled at me, and he led me down to the end of aisle 3, and he picks up a bag and starts shaking him in my face. And he said, "Oh, did you mean these nuts?" So we're fucking now.
Yeah, I'm sexy and I know it. Yeah. So, anyway, yes, my name is Sandy Bernstein. Y'all looking good tonight, including the whites only section. All right. Yeah. So, anyhow, I was on season 7, episode 3 of Amazon Videos Comics Watching Comics. Woo! Maybe you should hold your applause, because the show should have been called Comics Roasting Comics. Yeah, the nicest thing they had to say about me was that they were amazed that it was possible to have baggy jeans and camel toe at the same time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I mean, that was the nicest thing they had to say about me. It went downhill after that, believe me. Oh, you know, but the thing that really got to me, I mean, the thing that really hurt me the most was that they gave me absolutely no credit whatsoever for my thigh gap. Fuckers. Man, talking about being ignorant, last week I went to an open mic that was for women and non-binary identifying individuals.
Wait a minute.
No, it's a big mouthful. I didn't even give you all the initials, but they wanted to know my preferred prefix and pronoun on the sign-up sheet. And, you know, I'm old school. This is all new to me. I didn't know what the hell to write. So I finally wrote down, bitch. You know, like bitch Sandy. Hey. But then I was kind of worried. I thought, you know, what if they think I'm being disrespectful, you know? So I changed it to Ms. Bitch Sandy. Yeah.
I really don't want to hate on my ex too much, and I'll tell you what, my best friend Edie really helped me in that regard, because when I was going through my divorce, she was like, you know, Sandy, it's okay to be hurt and angry, you know, that's normal, but I don't want you to hold on to hatred, because that will just destroy you from the inside out. And I thought that was deep, and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do with these emotions? And she said, I'll tell you what, don't you worry about hating your ex. I'll do it for you. I will be your designated hater. Okay, and I felt like a huge burden lifted off of me, and for years she was more pissed off at him than I ever was. And I think that's like one of the nicest things anybody's ever done for me. So give it up for my BFF. All right. And let me tell you, that was 15 years ago, and she is still on the job. Because she called me up last week and she said, hey, I'm starting a GoFundMe page for your ex. I'm like, what? Yeah, so he can go on vacation. I'm like, why would you do that? You got it. She goes, I'm hoping we can raise enough money to get him a one-way ticket to the Dominican Republic. You get 10 points. But I'll tell you something though. For real, ironically, I'm in the process of planning a tropical vacation with another friend. So my husband says to me, you're not going back to the Dominican Republic, are you? And okay, all the stereotypical Jew came out in me, and I was like, think of the deals! What deals?
Y'all are freaks out here. I mean, you know, all that shit you do, like eating ass. Smashing? Choking? I mean, come on, whatever happened to good old-fashioned fucking? Okay, eating ass. How you gonna get that shit paid? Now look, my body has a certain amount of mileage on it, okay? We're not talking highway miles, we're talking city miles. Stop and go, potholes, speed bumps. No way. I got hemorrhoids, okay? My butthole has more nooks and crannies in it than a Thomas's English muffin. And people talk about eating ass like eating groceries. When was the last time you saw an ass in the grocery store? I mean, if my ass was in the grocery store, it'd be a brisket. A little dry, but definitely delicious. No, I'm sorry, but I think eating ass is disgusting. I do. And look, my clitoris is not located in my anus. So it's also a huge waste of valuable tongue time. And, yeah, okay, you hear me? And smashing? Oh, come on, that's something you do to cockroaches. I mean, to your cheap boyfriend's car windows. Or to a piñata. I'm sorry, but this pussy is not a piñata. Look, you hit this, you're not getting any candy. I mean, maybe if you're lucky, some spare change. Or an iPhone 6. Shit, I looked everywhere for that. It might be up there. But you're not getting any candy. And look, at my age, I gotta worry about osteoporosis. I do not want a shattered pelvis or a fractured hip. So that means that smashing is out of the question. And if some guy tries to smash me, the only thing getting smashed are his nuts. And getting choked while having sex? I don't even like that when I'm giving head. I'm telling you, man, some of these millennial fuckboys are downright disrespectful. I had one tell me the other day that I was too old to be a cougar. He called me a saber-toothed tiger. Man, I was ready to kick his ass into the Stone Age, but I didn't want to fracture my hip. Listen, guys, Metro Access is waiting outside for me. I gotta get out of here.